Good evening and welcome to a brand new edition of the Creators Outlet with the Misadventurers themselves, Katrina and Joseph. Hey, Michael. Hello.
Hey, everybody.
How's it going, everybody?
It's going good. Going good. Got my water. Sure, it's water. It's water. I can't afford anything that looks like water.
It's water. It just has flavoring in it.
It just has an artificial dye and color.
Yes, exactly.
I got some of that in the kitchen somewhere. But I was like, oh.
So we were just talking T-shirts before we went live. I don't know if you can see my Minions T-shirt. William's got a nice ACDC shirt going on.
I have NaNoWriMo.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
I've never participated.
Katrina from Scratch Press.
Yeah.
Tell us about yourself.
All right. Well, I am an author and editor. I publish under Cat Scratch Press. I do my editing under that too. So it's kind of an umbrella of me. I've got 3 books out currently. I'm about to kickstart my 4th book in October. I worked with Joseph on the Misadventurers, as well as other titles.
Cool. And tell us about yourself, Leonardo.
I am one of the 4 Ninja Turtles. I like to use a katana. I have 3 radical brothers. No, my name is Joseph. I've been doing indie comics for 10 years. Most recently, the Misadventures with Nicholas Touris, Katrina, and another band of misfits. And then I'm also over on Heroes for Causes, which we do superhero cause-based comics for people with cystic fibrosis, childhood brain cancer, and childhood diabetes and other things like that. So,
which is always cool, and we've had you on numerous times for that stuff because that's always good to do. And so this is like issues 1 through 4.
Yeah. So here's 2 of them.
I love the covers. I gotta tell you, like, I am way past the Scotty Young's cool. I'm like, I am so over Scotty Young. I would like to see Scotty Young draw something and not his Scotty Young style to see just what it looks like.
That'd be interesting.
You know, I mean, put a Scotty Young head on it, fine, but draw the rest like in like normal comic book art proportions or something, or draw like a realistic background for once.
Yeah, have there been many comic artists that just kind of totally did a 180 for like a annual or something like that on their style and did something completely new?
Well, like back in the day when John Jr. took over for his dad, like on like ASM, he could draw. Opposed to now just scratch. I'm like, why? Well, I wanted a style. I go, yeah, it's the same style my daughter drew in before she, got really deep in art, and she just got accepted to a Pathways program. She's starting high school next week, and she got in for visual arts.
Oh.
She's drawing all kinds. She likes the anamorphic animals, so she draws like foxes and stuff, and she's been trying her hand at digital coloring, and she's been doing like really great at it. So I'm like thrilled that she's in a program that anything that will make her excited and actually want to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because I mean, I remember my days in high school.
Maybe she can do a piece of art for Daphne.
She doesn't like showing anything that she does. But I'm trying to get her out of that. I go, well, if you start sharing stuff, you'd be amazed that the positive comments outweigh the negative comments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you know, maybe in the near future, maybe you'll do something that somebody might want to use as a cover on their book, and something might work out in your favor, so you can buy more Roblox cards or something.
Katrina, do you get that a lot with the creators that you work with when you tell them to edit something? Is it pretty much a positive response, or do you have to burst any bubble?
Most of the time, I've been lucky that everybody's pretty cooperative. You know, most of my clients and I have a good enough relationship that they know I'm not. If I say something, there's a reason I'm saying it.
You're not trying to,
I'm not just,
put them down or something.
I'm not just trying to destroy their dreams or,
yeah,
rip their babies apart or anything like that. But I have had a couple of clients who were really ready to go to the wall to fight for something. That's the thing. You've got to give me a good reason, not just because I like it. I like it is not a good reason. Yeah, I like some of the stuff I do too, and then I show it to somebody and they go, "You sure you want to do it that way?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Even the editor has people that they go to.
Yeah, because we're in a day and age where if you want to make a comic book, you can make a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
But not everybody that makes a comic book should be making a comic book. I try to be nice about it, but I'm like, every once in a while, there's just like, I'm kind of booked. I can't.
That's interesting because now with
it's interesting because I've had a couple people tell me they're booked this week. Now I'm gonna question it.
Not with me.
Well, now you have this independent self publication move for the last 10, 20 years. And before, the gatekeepers were always the big publishers, right? So they'd always go through their slush pile and, they'd try to weed out the people that they didn't think had the chops or whatever to publish a book. But now, because everyone has access to the format, the good and the bad gets published. And hopefully the bad, it's a stepping stone for them to improve their craft.
Yeah.
Because nobody started out with their best book for their first book. So, like your daughter, she's going to continue to get better through her art career. So I guess it's just accepting that as a creator and knowing that one day you'll eventually put out something that people are going to love to read or watch or view.
And I got my first comic book credit last month. So.
Ooh,
oh yeah!
Congratulations.
And it's not just as, a funder on a crowdfunder, because my name in the channel name has been in multiple books, but for that. But I proofread the Marv's Sin Killer issue 2 for him, and I'm like, he is from Portugal and speaks a little bit of broken English, but his English is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But having a lot of Portuguese relatives, I can hear the inflection as I'm reading the words on the paper, and I'm like, oh yeah, this isn't Portuguese speak. You need to reword this.
Mm-hmm.
And you spelt this word wrong 6 times. And I don't know what's going on here, but there's a blank word bubble above your villain. Ooh. And I don't know what was going on here. He goes, oh, I forgot to put the text in again. Thank you. You're welcome. He goes, I'm going to give you credit in the book. I'm like, you don't have to, but thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
yeah, sometimes those extra set eyes are so important because it could be something like you said, William, so obvious as a blank bubble. But by the time you've seen it as a writer or artist 500 times, you just gloss over it. And then that's, Katrina comes in and asks you why your villain has popcorn in a pickle when it didn't exist before that. So, and you're like, I never considered that. So,
well, everybody needs to stop at the concession stand.
Maybe if Katrina was at Image back in the day, Rob might have had the same belts and pouches everywhere from panel to panel.
Dang right he would have.
Did you guys see that picture of Elon Musk on the yacht?
Mm-mm.
He had, you know, that pose with Captain America on the side, and he's got like the giant chest.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
insanely amount. And then someone took a picture of a side view of Elon Musk, and it was like identical to that Captain America cover for that Rob Liefeld cover, and they're like, it does exist. So
he skipped leg day, but he got in chest day every
Yeah,
week.
I got to chest in.
So my first question is, this is a Kickstarter for 4 issues.
Yep.
So have these been released in any format, like on shelves prior, or you just wanted to do
only issue? Yeah, only issue 1. We had a preview issue come out through Scout, and then the Scoot format is 1 issue straight to trade. So we wanted to have all the issues as individual comic issues, and our only option to do that was through a Kickstarter. So we had about a span of 3 or 4 months to knock out all the issues on Kickstarter. So we did an issue 1 release. We did an issue 2 back in June or July, and then this is for all 4. So we've done 3 Kickstarters in total to get all 4 issues of the Misadventurers out.
So now, if you're missing an issue, or you just want to get some add-ons, you can come right here to the Misadventurers. And it's the final week.
It is.
Final countdown. We need everybody's support.
It's the final countdown. So I saw another post from you guys. I see like a million posts a day from Nita over at Raging.
Yeah.
And then I saw another post today with this really cool looking full chromium
the card.
And
So
I was like,
we did these promo cards for the upcoming game that we're working on. And they're hollow foil, and they're promo cards. We didn't make a lot of them. There's 8 in the set. So we decided to pull out all the stops and throw in one of these free for anybody that backs this week, and one of our holographic stickers with our 2 heroes.
Yeah.
You had me a game.
Yeah, I'm excited about the game.
I've got a bunch of games that I've backed on. I have 2 comic book games that I've backed on Kickstarter. Like I backed Exploding Kittens. Okay. Yep. Which is hilarious. And there's been like other like expansions for that that came out. My girlfriend found in clearance at our local Walmart from those same creators a card game called Unicorn Army. Okay. Yep. I don't know what it's about yet, but the last 2 comic book ones that I backed, one was an Umbrella Academy a game based on cards, and then I got the big giant box, the Kickstarter edition of the Dark Knight Returns game. Oh, okay. Which is like humongous. Like if somebody breaks into my house, I'm not going to reach for a bat or a hockey stick. I'm going to reach for this. It's your weapon of choice. And it's going to weigh as much as like 3 Webster's dictionaries. Okay. You know, so I'm like, hefty box. Oh, I'm like, oh my God, this thing is heavy. I'm like afraid to like open it. So at one point we'll have like a gaming party or something. But I've been seeing like a lot more people going the gaming route for like their IPs. Yeah. I know before Luke Stone got sick, he was doing an RPG for his IP. And I was like, ooh, that looks cool. He goes, it's not the full book. This is just a tease, like a playable demo kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, well, let me know when the full book comes out. I likes me a full book that I can read through and have no clue what's going on.
Yeah, the market for comic books is like this, and the market for games is like this. So
humongous, yeah.
And then the market I'm trying to get into is like this.
Yeah. It's like the width of a sheet of paper.
Yeah. I like a good challenge.
But I've seen another company that I'm following now that has gotten sign-offs from multiple IPs to make an RPG that's pliable with any of these worlds, so you can use the characters. And the two that got me was they've got Highlander and the Crow in there.
Wow.
And I'm like, you had me at the Crow, but there can be only one. And I'm like, that's just, it's cool. I haven't bought anything. I'm just following it to see what happens with everything, specifically because the artist that I do a draw stream for on Monday nights is going to be at Memphis Comic-Con next month. And J.O. Barr is going to be there.
Yep.
So he's excited, and I have to send him some stuff to get me signed. But he had gotten like the new Crow figure that's boxed in the window box where he's looking through the window when Brandon like swung out in the
nice.
in that movie that I don't want to think how many years ago that was because I was young. But speaking of young, at least young at heart here, we have the Misadventurers. So tell me how this all came about.
So I think it was about 3 years ago. Nicholas, I don't know if you're familiar with Nicholas's work, but he's worked on a lot of stuff with like Source Point Press and some other indie writers and creators. And his artwork is very colorful, very vibrant. His characters are very expressive. He posted something on his wall. He said, this is a project that I just never had the time to complete. And I was like, oh, that looks interesting, and then maybe there's something that we can, revamp it to and kind of, change up the story and make it more appealing to a wider audience. And so I messaged him. He said, he'd be interested in kind of working together as a team. And we started laying down the groundwork. I don't know, Katrina, I think we brought you in on this project maybe like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years.
And then Mike, the developmental editor, maybe a little bit sooner. And then just kind of hammering out the groundwork. And then the Misadventurers were born. So it's been it's been one of my most rewarding projects I worked on because, we've had such a cool team and a lot of the people on the team we've worked with on other projects. So it's fun to, be on the same podcast, like with yourself, William, and then have the same creative team back. And it's kind of like family and friends you get to do fun stuff with. So,
yeah, like, reuniting when you, when I see one of your posts for your like one of your cystic fibrosis posts, and you've gotten your friend there to dress up in another wacky costume that he's designed. And, we've turned him into a hero. And I'm like, I want that hockey costume. So right now it's sitting at 59 backers, 6 days to go. And this is rated for ages 6+.
Yeah.
I'm taking it on the plus.
I'm the plus. I'm a big fan of this series, even though I worked on it. Yeah, I don't get paid to say I like it.
Yeah,
that's not in the contract.
Yeah, I guess I don't know, Katrina. I'm sure a younger reader could pick it up and read, and it doesn't have any mature themes or extensive like combat scenes or anything like that. So it's pretty much all age friendly. But we just put 6+ just to give parents an idea of some vocab words maybe. But other than that, there's really no kind of situations or themes other than like hearts beating out of the eyes. That could be construed as anything that would be for an older, middle grader plus audience. So we have a lot of homages to 80s and 90s cartoons. We were heavily influenced by, Powerpuff Girls and Invader Zim and, I Hate Fairyland and stuff. So we kind of incorporate all those quirky and zany elements into the book.
And of course the turtles, because you have the Teenage Mutant Rocking Redwoods.
Yep, we had fun with that, and we have Abominable Snow Baby villains, and we have Robo Divas, and we have Country Pumpkins. So we really embraced the Powerpuff Girl villain thing, where they have amoebas and weird gangrene villains and stuff like that, just to give everybody a unique personality in the series. So
I used to freak my daughter out when she was younger and watch Powerpuff Girls, because I could like peek around the corner and just say something like, "I am Mojo Jojo."
That's good. Hey, when we cast for our voices on our book, we'll have to have you in there.
Yeah, I think I responded to that. And I'm like, I'm down. So, first of all, right here, final week free upgrade for all. Tell us about the upgrade.
So, Nita suggested we do something fun for the last week, because I think we have 100 watchers that are not backers yet for the campaign. So, all you guys and gals sitting on the fence, we need you to back the campaign. So, we did a couple incentives. One was, since it is an all-age book, let's throw some coloring material out there for the kids and for the adults.
Yes.
So we have 4 of our covers.
You're copying my book stuff now.
Are we?
No. Yeah, I have coloring. I have a download link to all of the art from my books, which is all in coloring book form.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've ever done. I mean, we have a cover. Kit Wallace did that dragon cover for us, and Scout published that as like a variant cover. But these are, it's just a download for you to print off and color up. And we'd love to do some kind of competition in the future if we get enough submissions. Post them up on our campaign wall and social, and maybe give a prize or something for somebody.
Cool.
So.
Yeah, I love coloring sheets. I love the idea of coloring sheets.
And right here, I was like, game card? What?
Yeah. This is one of the times where, I love the fact that like I work on the team and all that, but there are times that I wish that I was also a backer. Because the backers get all the cool swag. And this is definitely right up there.
I thought if I had an unlimited budget, like one of the cool things I would do is just back everybody's Kickstarter campaigns, because, I think that'd be a lot of support for all the people in the indie community. I think that does a lot of good, just, not only showing the moral support, but then also, on the financial end too. So when the time comes and I hit the lottery, I'm backing everybody's Kickstarter campaign. So.
Yeah, I started doing that when I first started doing the show, like almost 3 years ago now. And then I went to, I started getting notices that my auto pay wasn't going through, and I couldn't figure out why. I forgot that I backed all these books on Kickstarter, and the following month, right after I paid my rent, like a week later,
oh no,
like 5 Kickstarters came due, and I'm like, dude, can I borrow some money? Why? I go, because I'm not going to have internet. How much is your internet bill? $10. I luck out, so I get that special Comcast rate.
That's a nice rate. That's much better than my internet bill every month.
Yeah, it's it's called Internet Essentials from Comcast. So if you get any kind of like federal assistance, if you have children under 18 in school, you're eligible, and there's a couple of other things, and you're eligible for this. Okay. Where you get you get the bottom tier, but it's only $10. But they're not going to tell these people, advertise it, because then all of a sudden everybody's got school age children.
Yes. Yeah.
And because who wants to pay more than $10 for internet?
I don't want to.
I really don't want to.
I mean, I look at some of them, I go, and when you check the speeds on these, that they're not quite there. So this is what grabbed my attention today when I saw this, and you talked about this, and this is cool. Shiny.
Yes.
We did that as a reward for our first campaign, and it's a set of 8 promo cards. And I'll explain the game, the premise of the game really quick. Did you guys ever play Candyland years ago? I always thought it was interesting because there's like 120 spaces on the board, and you kind of went on a grand adventure, fighting bosses, and teaming up with your friends, and drawing colored cards and stuff like that. So since this is a misadventure, we wanted to do something that kind of echoed back to Candyland, which I don't think has been revamped yet. And we wanted to randomize it. So we have a lot of spaces on the board where you're laying down random game cards. And when you come across that area of the board, you flip it and you fight that boss, or you encounter that effect. And then there's different things like in Magic, how you have like a world effect. There's a world card, and then there's like a quest or campaign card. And it's a co-op game. So everybody works together to take down like the 4 or 5 bosses in the game. And at the same time, you're being chased by our big bad, which is a sandwich. And they have like a passive roll, a dice roll every turn. So if you're caught by the sandwich, everyone's turned to stone, game over. But hopefully can beat through all the bosses by the time she catches up to you and win the game as a team. So.
Very cool.
And we designed the cards kind of like Pokemon or Magic cards. They got hit points, attack points, and magic, and then special abilities and things. So,
and they look cool.
They look really cool.
And you'll recognize the art from the book, so it kind of ties the comic book into the game.
Very nice.
And you can play. That's a test animation that we did. Ultimately, we want to do an animated series with the book because I think it's animation ready. It doesn't have sound, but it just kind of goes through a test animation we did, a motion graphic.
Very cool. I like a motion comic, but like severely upgraded.
Yeah. So those are the Robo Divas. Those are Nicholas's favorite characters in the book.
Yeah, I'm scared of these.
We were heavily influenced by Invader Zim and characters from that series.
Tea time.
He could do multiple voices for us.
Oh yeah.
Hey, like a Goku or whatever was a female voice artist, and wasn't there like Bart Simpson was a female voice artist? So there's a lot of crossovers.
Yes, she was.
Yeah, she did like 5 or 10 like different, regular different characters.
Yeah.
Like she did the bully on The Simpsons.
That's it. You're hired.
That's it. Yeah, we're done. We don't need to hire anyone else.
Casting call is done.
Sorry, guys.
And this is the Kickstarter exclusive cover.
Yep. I think it's going to be really cool with the gold foil. We have a regular version, a gold foil, and a hollow foil of every cover.
Ooh.
So
if you like the shiny.
Yep. Our letter that I work with before, and I think Katrina, you worked with Dave before, but he is all about the gimmick covers, the hollow foil and the gold foil. So you say that, and like you said earlier, William, you're like, hey, count me in. I heard hollow foil or foil, I'm in. So
yeah, it's funny.
Ooh.
The same group.
I'm seeing all these for the first time too.
Are you?
I don't think I've seen these ones before.
That's our hollow foil cover. Very nice and shiny, and then here's the gold foil. But yeah, that's all the stuff I loved as a kid. All the gimmick covers. They got me into comics probably.
Yeah, it's funny that like a lot of the same group of people in the buying collecting market are like, I don't buy 90s comics. They stunk. Really? Is that why all the new comics you buy, you only buy the gimmick covers or this artist did this cover, so it's automatically like a $50 issue of a book that's sitting on the shelf for $3.99? Yeah, but it doesn't have that cover. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, today's comic buyers, I mean, I'm sure it was like that in the 90s because I just admitted to it, but you know, a lot of times I think probably 90% of the time they'll buy a comic just for the cover. And you know, who knows if they read it, they might not read it, they might just, you know, put it on a shelf or throw it in the long box.
More likely they run right to their mailers and send them out to CGC.
CGC, yeah, which I've never done.
Which is why they can't get any actual like older books graded, because they're every month they get like tens of thousands of modern books.
So far behind.
You know, so flooded.
I was just at C2E2 a couple weeks ago, and we were talking with somebody at the table, and they were saying that they just got stuff that they submitted 2 years ago.
The main company I think recently got acquired by a big investment firm, and that's weird because those guys never paid attention to collectibles and comics and grading of sports cards, and now all of a sudden they're interested in it. So
yeah. Well, I hear that CBCS is having issues too.
Oh, really? I hadn't heard that.
One dealer that I know of, that I've bought from, you know, many times in the past, because he offers like some really good stuff, and he'll get like some big names like into his shop to do signings, and or do live signings with, you know, artists at like you know, at like a C2E2 or you know, New York Comic Con or whatever, and they'll do it like a lot of the artists will just get like a big like penthouse suite, so they'll go in there with the cameras and they'll do like signings and you know, sketch commissions, like, you know, live till like, you know, 2-3 o'clock in the morning. But he had the fast pass with CBCS, and he's been with them since the beginning, and he wasn't getting any response from like any of his emails. Everybody he talked to, they knew nothing about comics. They were all sports cards people. And eventually he got somebody in, but then found out that they have actually lost 700 books just from his account.
Oh no.
And so now he's got to go through. He's got to find out what books might be eligible for replacement, what books aren't. You know, refund, and the same thing from the other end. And it just, I'm like, oh,
what a mess.
That's terrible. And I was going to send him books to send in. I'm so glad I didn't. Because I'm like, this is just like, you know, I'm coming, like a lot of stuff. Like I sold my my entire Aaron Thor run with Jane Foster to a friend of mine, you know, for a good amount of money. And that paid for me to go all in on somebody's crowdfund that I was really into. And that's the only reason I could go all in, because I ain't got that kind of money.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was like, cool, but there's, you know, there's certain books that I'm coming across in my collection as I'm going through trying to get rid of a bunch of stuff that I don't want to get rid of. Like I have the first 2 Silver Age Catwoman appearances in Lois Lane.
Nice.
That I think I paid $50 total for, like about 20 years ago on during a sale, like a half price sale at a store. which is also where I got my my first Secret Wars 8, ASM 252, and a certain Marvel team up, all with the black costumes. And I'm like, and then I went through a book. I didn't even remember buying New Mutants, but thankfully I did. I wish I was buying multiple copies, like a friend of mine did, who's got them, like, they're in a box somewhere. I think he bought, like, he was buying like 5 or 10 copies of every New Mutants book because he loved it. And I'm like, oh.
Could you imagine, like, when Katrina, when you get your boxes and I get my boxes, they come in like 100 or 200 count boxes, like case counts, and when you get to open it, it's all 200 copies of the same book. Can you imagine opening one of those today with like New Mutants 98, all pristine, 200 still brand new in the original case?
I had a friend before my medical issues came up, before I ended up in the coma. My friend Mark had gone, and you hear all these stories, but we were privy to it because he was just sending us pictures. He found, he was going around, he would drive around on the weekends and look for, yard sales and stuff. And he found like a big garage sale, and woman had like some older action figures, and the solid, they had the Marvel characters, and they would make them in like different colors, and they were like all like one piece. They were in action figures. They were just like, little kid statues to put up on the shelf. And a friend of mine gave me some of those, but he found a bunch, there. He found like a couple of old, like 60s GI Joes and the beginning of the world's greatest superheroes from Mego, coming up on their 50th anniversary this year. And then he found like a long box of comic books, and he asked one. He flips through, and there was some cool stuff in there, and he goes, well, what do you want for this? And she's like, 300. He goes, do you have any more? Yeah. Can I see him? Sure, come on into the back of the garage. Here's a list, because he typed out what was in there. First box he opened was a short box that was nothing but the first issue of the Wolverine miniseries.
Nice.
So there were 4 short boxes, each one with full sets combined of 2 long boxes of the Wolverine miniseries.
Wow.
A bunch of them were like, from I just ran this book over with my 4-wheeler in the mud puddle to probably like right off the rack, right off the spinner rack, which would get like a little damaged because we're going to be looking at them. But it's like it was read, but it wasn't well read, and he got a few of those signed by Stan, like certain issues, like he pulled out like the first Fantastic Four art with Silver Surfer and Galactus was in there. This Man, This Monster, like all like, big stuff, and like a bunch of bronze and silver, like DC stuff, and, just, and there were a bunch of independent stuff too. I bought some of that off him. And not long after I had my medical issues, he had medical issues, but he got 30 boxes, between short and long boxes off this woman because her husband had passed. She asked him, goes, would you give me $1,200 for all of them just to get rid of them? And he goes, let me carry that box and the other stuff that I want back here and leave it here. I'm gonna go to the bank and I'll be right back. He came back from the bank, handed her $2,000, and hauled all the stuff away.
Yeah, that's like that situation. You're like, I just ran into a treasure trove but at the same time, you have a responsibility. You're like, I can't just pay them, this little bit that they're asking. I got to give them something so that I can sleep at night, because this is like a monster score.
Yeah, and it's, there's some people that are just like, well, I'll take them off your hands for free, and and won't think twice about it, and they'll be like listing stuff on eBay on their drive home.
Yeah,
but karma's gonna get you.
Yeah.
John wrote a song about that, I think. And there was a situation of that same magnitude that happened in the town that I lived in before I moved here a few years ago. And there's a huge antique store there. And the woman sold her husband's entire massive comic book collection to a dealer. But he gave her, he paid her like, I think the store said he paid her over $10,000 for him.
Yeah.
And then he went and priced everything up as it was mint out of Overstreet. Some of the prices seemed to come from those old Wizard magazines that used to,
jack the prices up.
Oh yeah, quite a bit. Anything that's popular, we got to make it more. And half of the collection was sold before I even knew anything was there. But in there, I pulled about 10 or 15 copies of the original Nova series.
Wow, nice.
Like all double-digit ones. But they were all like UK editions. So it was like all 30 pence instead of 30 cents and stuff like that. I got a complete run of the Champions in there. And like extra issues of the Champions and, original Namor issues, when Namor was still Namor, and, stuff like that. And he was conflating the prices, but then selling them all for half price. So I'm like, okay, that's actually kind of like what they're worth.
Yeah.
And if you spent like over $100, they would give you a discount. And if you spent like over $200, they give you another discount. If you spent $500, you pay 25% of whatever the price on the books were.
Wow.
I might have done that a couple times. But, it was all, a tremendous amount of fun to find something in like, a Saver store like that, or, any garage sale. It's just like a treasure trove. And I get excited when I can find like older, like indie or small press books at like a flea market. And I'm planning to go to the flea market up the street from me probably next month. And this Saturday I'm going to my first convention this year. It's like a 1-day old school convention, come like at a VFW kind of like hall.
All right,
they rent it out for the day and they book everybody in, and there's a few like local artists that I'm friends with that I'm going to get to see, newer stuff from them, and just peruse through art and meet new creators and stuff, and check it out. I'm going to go for like a couple of hours in the morning and be done in time for me to come back and get my old man nap in. This is looking pretty cool. I love the coloring on it.
I mean, you can tell right away when you see a book and the coloring is done well. It just pops off the page compared to, I've done books in the past where everything kind of seemed muddy, and it just kind of absorbed the characters. But these ones, like the character just pops almost like in 3D fashion off of the page. Yeah.
I mean, you can see, everything in this book is like animated. It's very, very lively. I've seen some of those books with the off coloring that you speak of.
Yep.
one time somebody actually admitting goes, yeah, I really didn't have the money to pay a flatter. I'm like, oh, mistake number one. Did you have an editor? No.
Flatter, editor, and letter are the three things that you cannot skimp on.
Mhm.
You absolutely have to have those three.
And you have to have good ones of those three.
Right.
The problem that some people have is like, yeah, I don't need an editor. I'll just oh no, don't.
No.
Where the blank bubbles come in and the popcorn panels.
Yeah.
And what happens there is you're reading what you thought you wrote because you wrote it. You're not realizing, these last 3 pages need a complete rewrite. This doesn't make sense to me if I was 3. And it's just, crazy like that. So tell us a little bit about your 2 main characters here.
So the Viking princess on the right, Marius, she gets expelled from Viking town, and the kid on the left, he's a halfling. He's in school for wizardry, and he's kind of a showboat. So he gets expelled from school for being a showboat and blowing up one of his classes. And the two kind of meet on some far off desert island, and they have to put differences aside and journey home together. So it's kind of like a buddy team up kind of a flavor for the book, along lines of Adventure Time. They go on a grand adventure, meet some zany villains, and got to get home in time for lunch. So
I like the character design. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, like you said, that I think Nicholas gets a lot of influence from like manga, where they have very expressive faces, and like we'll have like the melting ice cube on the head, or like the steam pouring from the ears, almost like Looney Tunes fashion. Just because that's fun, and comics are supposed to be fun. We didn't want to make it dramatic, or you have to, invest too much of yourself to read it. You can just sit down, have a good time, smile, and then move on.
Yeah, not everything has to be, dark and dreary. You want to have, you want to be able to read, something that was fun. Like, I think I told you before, my mother used to let me get a comic like every Sunday from the spinner rack, because she would buy the paper to get the coupons. I would get Amazing Spider-Man strip in color, and she would give me like, a little bit of change to buy when you could for a little bit of change still buy a comic. So long ago. And I wouldn't always buy.
Sorry, guys.
Whoops.
That's my phone. I thought I vibrated it. I did not vibrate it. It's very, very cheery, but.
Oh yeah, I was starting to dance.
Could be our theme song, background music for the Misadventurers.
Yeah. See?
That's my oldest.
It's the turn the page music.
Yeah. Turn the page here.
I was on Randy's podcast the other day, and him and Scott and John were talking about how comics used to be 10 cents and 15 cents. And I said, put that in perspective for everybody that's listening. Like, what could you get for 10 cents at the time? And they said an allowance for a month was maybe about a quarter when comics were 10 cents. So you could get roughly 2.5 comics for your monthly allowance. And I think at the same time, a picture or going to the movie was about the same price. So about 10 cents, 15 cents to go to a kid's like matinee. So
yeah,
it was like weighing, do I get 2.5 copies of Spider-Man, or do I go to, I don't know what they were displaying at the time at the movie theaters, but do I go to 2 pictures?
Yeah, because I remember going to first run movies at like the smaller movie theaters before the big complexes came in, and seeing, it's no longer there, but I remember seeing the first Chris Reeves Superman movie, the first and second one, all 3 Star Wars movies, Tron, Moonraker. The first one I saw in like a movie complex was actually E.T. Anything that came out before that was like in a small place, and it was, it was like matinees were like $2 a piece, and now like you'll find like a cheap movie theater, like in some towns it's got like a movie that's been out on DVD for like 3 weeks, they're showing it, but you can either spend $20 on the DVD or you can spend like $250 at the door and sit down in a theater and watch it.
Our last one of those went by the wayside, I think 2 years ago, or maybe just beginning of COVID. It was like one of the ones you could still go see a movie, like a recently out of theaters movie for a couple bucks. And now we don't have that. It's just full price movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only one I knew of is one in Rhode Island, not far from the Mass line. And I think they went out of business because Walmart was going to go into the plaza that they were in the back of, and they were going to knock down like all these stores. And so a bunch of them just like, sold their buildings back to the property company. And then out of the blue, like, nope, we've changed our mind. We don't want anything to do with this town. We're going to go over here to the next state.
Wow.
And it's like, oh. So we have rewards. $9, we get issue 3 and 4 digital. And you have digital stretch goals.
So yeah, from time to time we'll do wallpapers. We're doing those coloring pages you can print out. We might be adding some more before the end of the campaign, and then physical ones that will actually get shipped with rewards that are physical.
The PDF versions in the last couple of years, I've come to call the Australian variants because I remember somebody. They said it cost like $60 to ship one book to like Australia. I'm like, they'd be better off just swimming here and getting it.
Yeah.
I was just talking to one of the inkers on Heroes for Causes, Kieran, the other day, yesterday, and he was talking about how expensive it is to ship books from the UK to US. And I was like, well, we don't have many Australian backers or backers from the UK, but because for one comic to ship it with like a hard, rigid, cardboard piece, it's like $15 to the UK. And I think like $25 to Australia. So
yeah,
by the time you sell a $10 book plus $25, it's triple or quadruple the price.
Yeah, my last campaign, I had one to Germany.
Yeah,
and it was $25 to ship the book to Germany. And she paid $10 for the book, then $25 for the shipping. And I said, dear God, give me a few months, it'll be up on Amazon. I mean, not that I'm encouraging everybody to skip the campaign, but come, you
feel bad because you want.
I feel bad. I feel like they're not getting their money's worth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of friends over in the UK, and they're big crowdfunder supporters for indie comics. They love indie comics. That's all they buy now. Yeah. But their cutoff line is, if it costs me more for shipping than it does for the book, it's just not worth it for me.
Yeah.
But I don't know
if they're getting shipping for less than the book, somebody's giving them a deal.
Yeah.
Because it's just insane.
I do know that there's been a few things going on because certain people have been working to workarounds for the shipping issues, because not only is it expensive to ship to the UK, but when you ship from the States to the UK, they want you to fill out all this paperwork and pay them taxes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, King George. We stopped doing that a long time ago. It's like, plus they're going to charge the person that gets the book tax on the item that they got. I'm like, whoa, none of this double dipping stuff. I know RJ from Critical Blast has a thing going where creators are shipping them, because they can ship like a bulk box where they'll package up all their stuff write the shipping information on the Geminis that they use. And most of the books over there are like oversized, kind of like magazine size.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll ship them like a big box for a lower cost. So it'll end up being, normal shipping prices. So you're going to pay like maybe $12 to ship a Gemini.
Yeah.
Tops. And they've been going back and forth on that. And I know recently for UK and other European distribution that Daphne and JD have teamed up with Mike Jimmy, who does Life on Korra.
Mm-hmm.
And he's now carrying their books now in the big giant size, because that's what he prints everything in. So if anybody over there orders anything, he gets them printed. He's in the Netherlands. He gets them printed there. And it's, like a quick bike ride, and they're shipped out for normal cost with none of that, triple taxing going on, because it's, from within the European Union and everything. And so, where there's a will, there's a way. Indie comics will get to you.
Yeah, if you think about like indie comics and Kickstarter, every time someone backs, Kickstarter takes their cut, shipping, the shipping cut comes out, and all that other stuff. So it's like, money is evaporating from the ecosystem, sort of. Mm-hmm. And if there's a way to kind of keep more of that money in the system, I think, we could fund more campaigns, more creators could get books out more often. People could actually be profitable or break even. So there's got to be some way to kind of keep some of that in the system without spending $25 on shipping.
Yeah, I know some, there's a lot of people I've been talking to, and I think it's a great idea that creators should find their way to have their own website. So after the fact, I know on Indiegogo, you can keep like the storefront open. And when you have I found out from Neff at Global Frequency that if you have a successful Kickstarter, you can just transfer your Kickstarter to Indiegogo and keep it there as an in demand. And I'm like, yeah, that's good, but they're still taking a cut. Why don't you go through, find out what you have to do and get your own website up and running. You can start with like one of the free versions. You still have to pay for your domain name and everything, but you can start with like a Wix website at first. And, when you start making more, you can put more into it, but it's a hub for you to just get orders and ship out your own books. I know a lot of people in the indie scene that I talk to, depending on how well the campaign does, they'll do like an overprint of like 20%, because they need stock to bring to shows. And sometimes, or once in a while, you might just catch the right show and you might sell out of everything you brought with you. And now you're down to like another box. And now you got to order another print run.
Yeah, it's interesting with printing. You can like print 250 books for the same price you can print like 75 books for. You can print like 1,000 books for like the same price you could print like 400 for. So it's almost like, should I just get the extra books, and then even if I give them away, it's still almost worth it. But
yeah, it's like, you can turn around, you can donate. If you've got like, say you had like an extra 10,000 of all these books like 6 months later.
Yeah.
Well, at Halloween time, every kid's getting a set of the Misadventurers.
Yeah.
Not the cool cards or anything, but
those are for backers only.
Yeah, they can have the books.
Now that'd be fun to print 10,000 of these, because by the time you print 10,000, like Marvel, I think it's like 27 cents an issue or something.
Yeah.
I know. I keep looking around my house going, where would I put 10,000 books?
We have about 8,000 total of our Heroes for Causes books between Pathway and Center Ice, because we did large print runs, because they're free with a donation to the charity. So we're still waiting to get out to a couple larger conventions to get those out. But
yeah, I need to talk to you about like next March. I want to get something to put on the table, but it's not till March, so we got time.
okay.
There's a couple months.
just a little bit. Hello, Hex Selling Comics.
Hex hail. So you can get issue 3 and 4 physical, which includes physical copies of 3 and 4.
I don't know why, but I read this custom quick tattoo. I think I need to put my glasses on, guys.
Hey, I guess we could find a way to make that happen.
Well, you could do the
transfer
temporary tattoos.
Yeah.
Custom quick tune includes digital commission bust and all digital stretch goals. So you get a custom piece of digital art for $25, and you get like all digital stretch goals. Well, that's worth it all day long.
Nicholas is in Argentina, so it's kind of hard for him to do like sketches on blank covers or commission pieces, because by the time you ship, like you said, William, it's just a nightmare. So we decided let's just keep the commissions digital, just to keep the shipping aspect out of it, and do it that way.
That's good too. There's plenty of people in the ether that want somebody to draw their character that they wrote. So here's the quickest and cheapest way you can get that done. Issue 3 and 4 gold foil for $38. Catch-up physical, so all 4 issues for $38. 3 and 4 holofoil for $58. And catch-up gold foil on all 4 covers for $75.
Not many printed.
No.
Yeah.
I think our print run for the gold foil is 50 per book. So
wow. So yeah, there's not many of those. Get them now, or
weep in your Cheerios tomorrow.
Yes, that's right. Custom strip. See,
that's wearing off.
There we go. My glasses are on now. Includes 2 to 4 panels, D&D themed, and all digital stretch goals for $75. That's very cool. $98, all 6 covers of 3 and 4. All 6 physical copies of 3 and 4. And stretch goals. $125, the catch-up holofoil. Keeper of the Comics includes all 12 physical copies of the entire series and stretch goals. That's for those cover collectors that have to have everything.
You have to have it all.
Super Backer includes all 3 and 4 reward tiers.
Oh, wow.
Whoa. Tell us about all they're going to get with this one.
So we got the issue 3 regular, the PDF, the gold foil, the holofoil, issue 4 PDF regular, gold foil, holofoil, the digital quick tune, and then the D&D themed 2 to 4 panel commission, and all the stretch goals
for $200. Or you can one-up it and be epic.
That's right. That's not enough for you.
But wait, there's more.
We were going to do something crazy like we'll fly out to meet you and take you to lunch, but who knows?
You need to charge more than $2.99 for that.
Yeah, we didn't know what price point to put on it, because with the prices of airfare these days, who knows?
I'm not even sure you could get Amtrak for $2.99.
The epic backer includes all 1, 2, 3, and 4 reward tiers and stretch goals.
There can only be one.
Yeah. So every cover of every magnitude, multiple foil gamey cards, digital sketch,
Comic
the
strip.
comic strip, and
If it's been mentioned.
if it's been mentioned, and even if it hasn't, if you can find it here, it's in there. Oh, look, it's a little cartoony of you.
See, same hat.
Same hat.
By the way, one of the stretch goals is a die cut sticker of me and Nicholas added to the other stickers.
Oh, cool. So you hit the 1,000 goal, which is the initial goal.
William, I got a question. If I click out of this, will it still record me, or does it close my screen?
It'll close your screen.
Okay.
But you can, if you need to do something, you can bounce out and come back in.
I have to update that stretch goal thing.
I was going to say that doesn't look current.
Oh.
I can pop over and update that, but is that okay if I cut out real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere. You're just changing screens. You're fine.
Oh, yeah. You'd have to X out. See, I thought we were going to get to talk about him while he wasn't here.
I know, and that hat. Oh,
yeah.
That hat. I don't know.
Donatello's my favorite. Sorry. So I'm just going to refresh this screen.
Okay.
Whoa, where'd you go? Whoa, it put me way down the bottom.
I was going to say, what?
We're supposed to get up to the top. Up top, up top.
It's a long page to scroll through.
Oh, this is like trying to find my birth year.
I know, it's getting bad.
There we go. And as soon, we're just going to go like this.
There we go.
As soon as it's updated, we will go back.
Go back.
And we will see what we can see, because there's more stretch goals afoot.
That's right. There's stretch goals and there's add-ons.
Oh, add-ons are my favorite. And my weakness. You know, especially if I see a patch or a pledge coin, I'm like,
okay. Oh. I'm doing a pin with mine. It's my first pin, back. So
do a refresh.
Okay, let's
see if it comes up.
Well, I'll refresh over here and then bring it up. I said refresh.
I have no idea how it was not updated, but
aha. Dum dum dum.
No whammies, no whammies. No whammies. Stop.
Whoa.
All right.
So
I like
goal
how you did yours.
Marius sticker, and 50 backers will get painted mini prints.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Once you hit 50 backers, so all backers up to that point, right? Well, I guess all backers.
Yeah, as long as we hit at least 50 backers on the total campaign, everybody gets, all the physical backers get the mini print.
And the bookmark has been unlocked.
Mm-hmm.
Or has it?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I thought I was reading that wrong. So
it's interesting because when we set this up, you know, we set it up with a number of backers and then also dollar amounts.
Mm-hmm.
So you never know quite what the average backer amount will be.
Right.
So our right side of our, what do you call it? Thermometer starts filling up faster than the left side of the thermometer. But I'm confident we're going to hit the 75 backers so that the thermometer will look more
balanced.
More balanced.
Balance Danielson. So the book, I love. People like, oh, another bookmark. I'm like, dude, I love bookmarks.
Do you love bookmarks? Good. I'm happy to hear that.
I can't get enough bookmarks because I'm always reading like multiple books
Mm-hmm.
and actual books too. Yes, I read books without pictures.
Ooh, you're my favorite type of person.
Okay, so the book that I just took and I started reading the other day was a present from my great grandmother to my mother in 1946.
Okay.
And it's got a copyright date of 1944 in the book.
Oh, very cool.
And it's a cowboy book. It's Gene Autry.
Okay, yep.
Of course, was King of the Cowboys. So it's a Gene
Mhm.
Autry book. So when you first open the book, the inside bookend pages is like one big drawn mural, and it's got Gene in the western town and everything. And I'm like, oh, that's cool.
That is really cool.
And it smells like 1944 too. So I'm like, old pages,
Old paper.
old paper.
You know how we were talking about treasure troves with William earlier?
Mm-hmm.
About going to a garage sale and stumbling upon like box and box of comics. I stumbled upon a garage sale where the son, his dad was an author, and he collected all of the first editions and first hardback printings of basically any science fiction or fantasy book that you could possibly imagine.
Oh, wow.
And they were just sitting there, and they're like 50 cents or $1 a piece for hardbacks. And I don't buy a lot of standard like hardback books and first editions, but I saw like Game of Thrones, and I saw like George R. R. Martin's other stuff, and then some old John Grisham stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've never seen these like in my life, let alone. And he's like, I should let you run over to my dad's house because he's getting rid of books, and he's been buying the first editions, the book club editions since he can remember. So who knows what else he has? But if he has some of the original George R. R. Martin and the Harry Potters and things like that, some of those books can be expensive, just like comic books.
Yeah.
Some first editions are
like
big money.
I have this little book collection that I have to either be gifted it or stumble across it. I refuse to search for the books. I don't know why. I'm weird that way. But it's called Cherry Ames, and it's an old book series. And I was on Facebook one day and saw somebody post like a garage sale post, and they had like 6 or 8 of the books. And I got up the next morning and I was like, I will be there when the garage sale opens. And the woman was laughing because I posted on the thing. I'm like, I'll be there in the morning. And she's like, nobody's even looking at these books. And she had gone on to one of the book pricing sites, and some of these books were worth $30-$40 a piece. Wow. And I was so dejected because I just didn't have that kind of money. And I think she sold me the whole set for like $20. That's all she had, because she's like, you are infatuated with these books and nobody else has even looked at them.
You deserve them.
I know they're going to make you happy. Like, you're going to like get something out of these.
I know you're not going to buy these and just
and resell.
And resell them.
I'm definitely not a reseller. Reselling takes too much work.
Oh my God.
Like, you got to do all that research and then list it and hope somebody's interested. I know that's too much work for me. Even now, like if I do a book purge, which I do a couple of times a year, they go down to the library, the library, well, a couple towns over, has free shelves where anybody can come in and just take the books and have them. And I've gone in multiple times and just stocked them by myself.
Add-ons.
Yes.
Issue 1 added on.
Now that's the scoop cover. Yeah.
$5. The Scott Pilgrim Ash Can #1. The scoop cover of add-on 2. Issue 2. Ooh, stickers. Stickers for $5. Add-on 4 physical black and white Kit Wallace scoop cover #1. That's the coloring book cover.
We actually had, Katrina, we had someone ask if that whole book was a
coloring book style.
I was like, yeah, no, unfortunately, it's just the cover. So.
They must go, but you work with Katrina. Everything she does is coloring book style.
Add-on number 5 includes the Scoot number 1 preview edition VHS cover. For those are very highly collectible.
You guys remember the clamshell, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm old. I remember the clamshells. I have a friend of mine who did a Kickstarter that he's actually waiting for the books to finally come in so he can do his fulfillment. And one of his tiers was actually an actual VHS clamshell with all of like the stickers and all that magnets and all that stuff inside the clamshell.
So big enough to house a comic book.
And not a comic book. Well, it's a comic, but it's like in the 6x9.
Oh, okay.
Because it's about 220 pages long.
Okay. That's
it's
cool.
Broken up into segments. Yeah. I don't know that the book itself actually fits in there.
Okay.
Because I saw the book and it was about yay thick.
Okay. That's so a cool idea.
It'd be pushing it, but all of the extra swag stuff at that tier level, it wasn't for everything. It was just a certain tier. All fit inside of there.
Cool.
Like, and number 6. Woo-hoo.
Oh.
Promo set of all 8 holofoil trading cards for game, $19.
It's got your name written all over it.
It's right there.
I just finished giving away all of my.
Don't say Pokemon cards.
No. All of my Magic cards.
Oh no.
To
gave away or you sold them?
I gave them away to a kid.
Okay.
To my girlfriend's friend's son.
Were they old ones or more recent ones?
Oh, they were more recent ones. Okay. You know, I didn't be like, yeah, I don't care what they're worth. Give away my Black Lotus set.
Yeah, here's a couple houses. Go ahead and put them in your bike spokes.
Yeah, just drive around with them. I did keep one of like the pre-made like 100 card decks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was my favorite format to play in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so people couldn't. You know, actually, my favorite deck was a blue. I'm gonna make you throw all your crap away deck. And then they got rid of those cards, and I'm like, I don't care. I still want to play this deck. I can't play it anymore. I go, okay, I quit.
Closest I've ever come to playing Magic is I had a friend of mine who was a model for one of the packaging, and so I have one of the packages with her art on it. Yeah. It's amazing the people you meet in the comic book industry as you go along.
Yeah.
Who do really cool things.
Yeah, I was like all done playing like way before, you know, anything bad happened to me, you know, with my health. I was like, I'm like, I know this is just a scam, but, you know, I can't be going around. I got a kid. I can't be going around dropping $1,000 every month to buy the new cards. And then it's like, why am I buying packs? I can just wait till they have the ones that I want and then just buy the singles off of somebody, you know, at an exorbitant rate. You know, I don't care if the card's damaged. If the card's damaged, yeah, sell it to me for $1. I'd take it. But I was just, you know, I got into it and I was like, I never liked Magic. I liked the art. I really liked the art.
Yeah.
I was a D&D player, so I really liked the art. But I was like, it just seems like, you know, you just sit around bashing people over the head. So the game that got me into CCGs was the old Star Wars game.
Yeah.
When it first came out from that company that's been going. Yeah, Decipher. I just threw all those cards out the other week because I had like I threw them all out. I'm like, I'm never going to use them again, and they're just like taking up space and goodbye.
Next time you're throwing some out, ship them over here.
Okay. I don't have any more, but I'll keep that in mind.
I'm the house for orphaned video games, video game systems. I just inherited an Atari 2600 of all things.
Oh.
With 50 versions of Pong.
Is it the wood grain one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was an original, like the original system. A guy I knew or know was cleaning out his mom's attic and found that and a Super NES.
Nice.
Wrapped up in boxes, taped shut so no dust got in them.
Oh, cool.
And another friend surprised me by paid. They were going to take him to Goodwill. Another friend paid the shipping and had him shipped to my place.
Oh, nice.
So unfortunately, the SNES, I can't get the sound to work on it. So it's a little weird playing Mario without any music.
Well, where's your jingle on your phone? Just play that.
Or I can probably sing it if I try hard enough.
You can just put YouTube on your phone and it'll just play like 6 hours of the Mario music. And then eventually you will just take your phone and throw it into the wall because it's driving you insane. Slowly but surely.
Yeah, I have to explain why I gotta buy a new phone.
I had a bunch of toys that this dealer wanted to buy off me, and there's like 50 video games in the box, like PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, some Xbox and GameCube stuff. No systems. And there were a bunch of other stuff in there, including one of the 2003 Toonami pieces of the Herculoids.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
And there are 3 boxes, and if you bought all 3, you could set them up like on a big shelf.
Oh, that's
cool. Herculoids behind them. So I've got Zoc and Xandor. Now I looked these up, and these are selling for like $400 or $500.
Nice.
Wow.
So this guy's like, well, I really want that, but I can't be paying that. So he agreed to pay me $400 for everything that he had been like, yep, I'll take this, and this. Put it all in the box, all the video games, which I was giving him for like $1 a piece.
What?
On the video game. The box came up to $400. Then he saw a bunch of other stuff that I had found that I was putting up. Then all of a sudden, he didn't want 90% of the stuff that was in the big box and wanted to cherry pick all the other stuff and wanted a good price for it. So I gave him, I go, the only reason, and I had given him a good price on the Toonami piece I asked for like $350. So it's like, it's $100 off what you're going to pay on eBay. Of course, that's not good enough.
Yeah.
Well, if I put it on eBay, I'm going to lose this. I go, get over yourself. We all know you make your money off of there. And so he was getting that for $250 and then wanted a deal on all this other stuff, including like an old 10th anniversary Diamond Select San Diego exclusive Batman figure.
Ooh.
Still in the clamshell. And
wow.
I'm like, he wanted good prices. So I gave him all my prices and everything came up to about $800. But I was still giving him the Herculoids box for $250. Oh, we're not even on the same planet.
Oh,
I go, no, because you want to steal all my stuff.
You want cheapskate prices.
Yeah.
You want to flip it and resell it. You want to pay like, what you would pay for if you were a store buying off your, wholesaler.
Yeah.
I'm not a wholesaler, and I kind of, some things I'm like, yeah, I don't care about. I'll sell them for less. But other things I'm like, and I'm like, I know most of the stuff I can't sell because they're all like DC Direct figures. And now everybody's all McFarlane crazy. And they don't want any figures that don't have the McFarlane name on them. Well, he gives stands with all of his. Yeah, you can buy those really cheap online. And I'm like, the lines that I've got like already from from Direct. Some of these things, I've got like 7 or 8 like cases of like lines that are still sitting in the case, like up in the front of this room, and I'm like, I got to go through them and do something with them, but I'm like, I'm not there yet because nobody's bought the stuff that we've already put up. So I'm like,
You had my attention at $1 video games. I'm all in.
I know. I was like, $1 video. I'm in on the video game.
Especially GameCube all day long. I'll buy
Yeah.
GameCube games all day long for $1 or $5.
Yeah, we've got a GameCube too.
I only had like 4 GameCube games. I bought like
That's right. Joseph and I would have fought over them.
And then she was like, well, can I have those GameCube backs? Because my sister's boyfriend's got a GameCube and I can play them when I'm over her house. Yeah, sure, here. So then I had like a golf game and like a Fantastic Four game that I never got to put in and try because she was always playing Finding Nemo or Shrek. So I'm like, okay, I'll go back to my computer. But yeah, it's stuff like that you know kind of irks me. But now on to our regular scheduled program. Add-on number 7
Do a magic trick. You can make it appear in real life. Ta-da!
Physical copy kit Wallace I Hate Fairyland cover number 1.
That cover's a lot of fun. Kit did an awesome job.
Yeah, I've got like a few doubles of his original I Hate Fairyland books, like when they first came out like years ago. I think I got them by accident because they released like a regular cover and then they did like the action figure covers, which I thought were cool, and everybody else thinks are cool, but not cool enough to buy.
Yeah.
So now I've got boxes of action figure covers. I go, yeah, these were cool, but I don't care about these books anymore. So I'm like, and share.
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. And yes, those cards have my name on it.
We only have like 15 sets or 18 sets of the cards. Because when we printed them, it actually was a surprise. I upgraded them to holofoil. Nobody was expecting it. So people were pretty excited, the ones that added it on to the first campaign and the second one. So.
And if only there were 8 days left. Because then I'd have a new check on the first.
But
because I'm going
not to encourage anybody to overspend their limits.
Yeah.
But Kickstarter does put your pledge through. Was it a week later? They'll try again a second time.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll have to go. I'll have to sign it and look and go. Because I just got a new card. Because my MasterCard had just, rolled out after like 5 years. So they just sent me a new one. So I had to like update everything. And there's certain places I haven't updated yet because I haven't bought anything from Amazon recently. Mm-hmm. So the longer I wait to update a new card, the better. But I just bought something. I just bought a Kickstarter from somebody else at the beginning of the month. So I'm like, I was like, I don't have any money. Oh, it's not due until the 3rd. Awesome.
I'm in.
Buy low, sell high, and keep those foil cards.
You know what's interesting is some of those original like zombie side games that were all Kickstarters.
Mm-hmm.
They're impossible to find on the secondary market, and there's other games too. I'm sure that I'm not mentioning, but there is a whole industry of people that get in early on some of these IPs, and then they sit on them for a year or two, and then they're scarce. They didn't make many of them, and then they're in demand, and then people can hawk them on eBay for big prices.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, just like I learned, because I get like PR from Cryptozoic every month, and they've released the Dark Knight game like on the regular market, but it's different from the Kickstarter version of the game.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's a whole bunch of upgrades they did to the game that people that buy the regular game don't have.
Never know.
And I'm like, that's, Dark Knight is my second favorite Batman like story next to the Cult. And because it was fun seeing him finally get broken down by somebody. And I really like the art on it. But anyhow, nobody's going to have the upgrades. And yeah, there are some people that specifically collect those games. And there's so many retailers, like, small business retailers that will go in and buy, if they've got a retailer tier, they'll buy a retailer tier and get like limited editions of that game. And then they'll be pumping that up and like advertising it and playing the trailer on loop during like, specific game nights, like the mini nights or whatever. And be like, yep, we're getting only 6 of those in. And that's it. And be like, can we pre-buy them now? $500.
Yep.
Your soul on this line.
Yeah, I'm just like, so since we're still on the cards and we're talking games, when are you thinking of actually releasing the Misadventurers game?
So we've got it pretty much all planned out. We haven't done any kind of game testing or actually printed any prototypes beyond the cards. But ideally, it would probably take about 90 to 120 days of production and getting all the print stuff together, and doing a little bit of play testing. And then, so right now it's kind of interest based. So if we feel like there'll be a lot of momentum going into the game, we have our official trade launching in Captain Underpants style and Dave Pilkey style in the spring through Scoot. So it might be a good time to announce the official release or at least try the official release of the game about the same time. So in the spring of next year.
Yeah, because I'd definitely be down for it. And I'm gonna see if I can talk my girlfriend into buying me the cards.
Right now,
I'm hoping they did a proofreader for the rule book, so I can get my comp copy. So I game the system a little bit where I can.
I'll be a game tester.
Yeah.
There you go.
One of our challenges, I think, is just getting the minifigures correct, because we want 3D printed, resin printed a figure for every one of the main characters that are going to be playable characters in the story. And it seems like that's the biggest hurdle, like printing the cards, because I can pretty much do the design work from Nick's art, getting the printing done. Other than the rollout mat that we want to do for the game board, and just kind of laying that out graphic design wise, I think printing the minifigures and modeling those is way beyond my caliber, my abilities. So we probably have to get someone to help set up the 3D files for those characters.
I know a guy.
Do you?
I know.
Don't say.
I know a few people. I know one guy that is uber talented in that department. He is now in doing fulfillment of his campaign that was very successful, and he designed his own figure, and he has done figures for multiple people in the industry, just as a thank you. Goes, because I like their characters, so I'm going to make their IP character. I'm going to put it on my desk, and I'm going to do one and paint it up and send it to them as a present, as kind of like a thank you. So, maybe I'll talk to him and I'll send him your way.
Yeah.
For something in the future, and
And we're thinking maybe 4 or 5 playable characters for like game. What do they call game movers or game tokens? Is there a word for that?
Game
tokens.
pieces.
Yeah, token pieces.
Little
So-
guys I misplace.
Character pieces.
And then they'll actually correspond to the cards. Like this is a character card, this Jiminy one.
Here we go. So shiny.
So the token will correspond to this, and then there'll be an upgraded version of this that you can get that replace this one with the same token, with has different abilities and different stats and stuff like that.
Oh, cool. I like it. And much like the book, it'll be an all ages game.
Yep.
But like I like to tell everybody, break your children in on Uno, so you know that not even family means a darn
That's
thing on the
right.
game board.
That's right. My kids were killer. When I used to play like games that weren't co-op with them, they would team up together against me.
Of course.
Take me out, and then take each other out. I was like, I'm not sure I like this plan, you two.
You know what the worst is? Did you ever play Monopoly?
Oh yeah.
And then people start making alliances like, oh, I'll trade you this property and infinite immunity as long as we can get Katrina out of the game.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So let's do that.
My kids have done that too.
It's
Although
like
we have a
whoever
solid
gets Boardwalk and Park
Monopoly
Place and has like 10 hotels on each.
That would be my youngest.
The rest of the board all gangs up on them.
Yeah, that would be my youngest. He somehow manages to get everything, gets 50 hotels, and he always takes you out on, I don't remember what the name of they are, but they're the ones that are just past go.
Yep.
So they're the little cheap ones.
Yep.
Mhm.
That's where he takes you out.
Because he whittles you down and then you eventually end up on Boardwalk or Park Place.
Yeah.
And it's like the Boardwalk Park Place people. That's like the Joker's hideout. You're hiding out there, waiting for like everybody else to step on one little square foot booby trap, and then you win.
Boom.
But hopefully it's not like 6 hours later because some of those games just carried on.
We have a couple of like board monopolies that I refuse to get out. We play online on like the Xbox. We'll do the online gaming version of it because it's just faster. Nobody's arguing because the game is like, these are the rules. Deal with it.
You can't deal from below the deck.
Right.
And I'm not opening up any of my collectible monopolies to play with you kids.
Yeah.
That's
I just don't have the patience from like the length of time it takes to play the actual board version of it.
Just to set it up, yeah.
Just set up, and then I've got cats. So let's be honest, if we don't finish in one night, you might as well, whoever was winning won because the cats will have destroyed that board by morning. One cat sprinting across it, that's it.
The Floofy's got it.
Yep. Dorian won.
So,
William, when you buy board games like the Batman board game, how much is the temptation to open it, and how much is the temptation to leave it sealed and put it in your collection and the bookshelf and stuff?
Well, I'm very tempted, but at the moment, we are slowly but surely going through about 300 boxes of comics.
Ooh.
And a lot of them I never got to read because I had like 2 9-foot tables. And how, like, if you were, when you see stores or dealers like setting up and they're just putting stacks and stacks and stacks to separate everything out. I had stacks like that. I had a 9-foot table in my walk-in closet. So there was no clothes in there. I used the small closet in the bureau because I didn't have a lot of, how many clothes does a guy need? 8 days worth at most if you get lazy with the laundry. So I had these tables all set up with all these stacks of books. And as I would, binge read them in between, online gaming and, checking out everything out and playing with my daughter and doing day-to-day, regular dad stuff. I would binge read, like if I wasn't working like the next day and it was like going into the weekend. I would on a Friday night I would binge read like 30 or 40 books.
Mm.
And then I'd be like, oh, I just read these. I got a bag and board them and put them in the box now. But I would do that. But when I got sick, both those tables will fill up about this high with multiple stacks on, 2 long convention tables. And so they took them all and they put them in, they just threw them the way they were in boxes. And I'm like, oh, I never read these. And I have no interest in these anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And all I'm buying now is like, older books. Like I bought a run of Gold Key Star Treks a couple of months ago. Buck Rogers from the 70s in Gold Key. Treasury edition books that I'm like, wait, that book's worth how much? These were like $1.98 for super oversized ones. I'm like, oh, you're killing me. But I'm getting them back. I got the most recent Treasury book that I bought that I was proud of was the photo cover with Jackson Bostwick as Shazam on the cover. Some of us know him as Captain Marvel, the real Captain Marvel, not this pretender at the Mouse House. But I love old books and old runs and old indie stuff and small press stuff. I came across my Comico black box the other day.
Man, that brings back some memories.
Oh yeah, when Grendel Black, White, and Red will never be reprinted again. Whoops. They're out of business and we own the rights now, so we're reprinting it again. I'm like, oh. I don't have the poster that folded in on it anymore, sadly, but I still have all the original books that came in that box are still in that box. I actually took them out and read them all, and then started searching some online sales to see if I could find the other ones. Like the Eternals and DN Agents and stuff from like the 80s and 90s and beyond. When comics could still be fun, like the Misadventurers fun, So we want to wish you guys the best of luck with this. There's still 5 days left now. Plenty of time to get in and possibly get the last set of all those hollow foil cards.
Could be yours.
Check it out. If you've already backed the project, please share it out on all the social media so we can get more eyes on it in the last couple of days. And we'll see you all in the funny pages. Guys, thanks for coming in and talking about the book and anything in between. Going a little bit off topic here, and coming back to our regularly scheduled program with your Leonardo hat.
You mean to do my outro?
Sure.
Yeah, you can find me on any of the socials at Joseph A. Michael, or of course on Kickstarter until August 30th under the Misadventurers. So check it out.
Awesome.
And if you're looking for me, I'm pretty much everywhere under Katrina Rote, ROE, T as in Tom, S as in Sam. I have a Kickstarter going live October 1st. If you guys are interested in checking that out, the pre-launch page is up at catscratchpress.com.
Awesome. And you can find me anywhere under Creators Outlet or at JokerFan on Twitter, or just look for Creators Outlet on Linktree, and you can follow me anywhere right there. So until next time, we wish you well. And hey, read a comic book, would you?
Yeah.